My mom left the house for hours every night when I was young, and now 20 years later it's ruined my life. When I was young, my mother and I were very poor, but despite this, she did everything she could to give me a great childhood. We couldn't afford holidays, so she would take me on vacation by getting a train to a nearby city, and together we'd explore the parks there. I always pretended that these parks were new locations in a video game, and I was character slaying all the zombies. I'd pick up sticks and walk around the park swinging it in the air and making sound effects like I was slashing zombies, and at times I'd scratch my own leg and run to my mom yelling I was bitten. She'd give me the cure, a bottle of water, and I was ready to continue on my world-saving zombie-slaying mission. I remember my mom crying because she couldn't take me to restaurants on these vacations, and I'd try my best to comfort her by saying, "It's okay, we just don't have enough XP to unlock that yet." She did everything for me, and I really was a happy child. But there was one thing that made me sad, and it was my mom leaving the house for hours at nighttime. The first time I woke up and she was gone, I sobbed because I thought she was dead. I cried so hard my voice retched. I prayed to God and told him I wouldn't ever eat extra snacks again if he gave me my mom back. And when she came back, I wrapped myself around her legs and begged her to never leave me. She gave me a hug and promised me she wouldn't, but then came next night and she left again. She never told me what she was doing either, always just calling it mommy stuff. She smelled bad when she came back too, but over time I learned to ignore it. As the years went by, we started coming into a little more money, and mom told me she had landed a better job. I was so excited and asked her if that meant she would stop going out to do mommy stuff, but she said no, she just had to go. There was no other way, she said. No matter how old I got, she never stopped heading out at night, and she never explained what she was doing either. I began thinking she was selling herself, and that this was how we came into more money. I had come to terms that this was her dirty secret, but then last week my world shattered because she finally told me, and now that she did, I genuinely wish that all those times she was indeed going out to sell herself for money. It would have been better. I love my mother more than the world. She gave me everything, and she is the reason I am who I am today, and that's why this is so painful. Turns out that what she did was go out to smoke cigarettes. She'd walk around the closest park, chain smoking for hours on end. She said she knew a guy who would give her huge tobacco pouches for free in exchange for favors, and the trade was worth it to her. She never wanted me to see her smoking though, so she hid it this way. She hugged me and apologized for never telling me, before dropping another bomb on me. Turns out my father never passed away while serving in Afghanistan. Instead, he left us when I was 1. On top of that, he accessed my mother's savings and stole all her money before completely disappearing. My mom was beyond broken, and she and I lived in a homeless shelter for a year following that. I don't remember this as I was just too young, but my mom said this was where she picked up smoking. It was the only thing that kept her sane and helped her distress. She felt like the weight of the world was crashing down on her, but then she'd light a cigarette, and things became a fraction better. Even when we got our own place, her stresses never eased up, and she eventually became depressed. Those days we'd travel to parks in the nearby cities, she felt dead and empty inside, and smoking helped her get through it. But now, it's come back to bite her. She has stage 4 lung cancer. Her survival chances are 0%. She is going to die. There's nothing even the best doctor in the world can do about it. She won't stop coughing. She's extremely sick. Her hair is thinning. She's lost 10 pounds since she first told me. She can't get out of bed. I'm watching my mother slowly deteriorate in front of my eyes, and there's nothing I can do about it.